You know, it's and Lieutenant Cobretti, really, Lieutenant Cobretti, really. Anyway, how did he get that perfect '80s stubble? Like that perfect 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter '80s stubble. I don't know.
Well, they shot the whole movie in one day.
Yeah. He would wake up at 2 a.m. to shave. So
it's glued on.
Exactly
it's actually an appliance that they would peel off like a fruit roll-up.
Flocking, they just spray on his face.
He's flocked.
He's flocked. Welcome to Season 4 of Talking Pondo. Talking Pondo is a podcast where Clif and Marty give each other a film to watch and talk about them in detail. Some episodes will include a special guest.
Talking Pondo will not be heard today, so we may bring you the following Pondo Shuffle.
Hit shuffle, Marty.
Yes, we will be hitting shuffle today. What the fuck does that mean? Well, it's Talking Pondo.
How did I let you talk me into this?
It's me and Cliff. I'm Marty. We're back again.
Hi.
We're here in person. That's why.
Yeah. In the same room, 5 feet away from each other.
Let's do something goofy this time. We have a database of movies we can watch, about almost 5,000.
Yep.
And we decided for the in-person episode, the second one, we're going to hit shuffle.
Yeah. Because the library has a shuffle function.
Yeah, we're going to see what it forces us to watch. Now, of course, each party gets 2 veto choices. And also, if something comes up where we deem that's not really a movie,
we'll skip
or
it.
We've done it already.
Yeah, we'll skip it.
And so if we get to the third choice and we're like, oh, God, no, we have the ability to go back to one of the first 2, force ourselves to watch that. Then we turn off this recording, we watch that movie, much like the regular show, we come back, talk about that movie for a half hour, and then we spin the wheel again.
The wheel of justice.
And then we come back, do our thing. I feel like we're telling a guest what the show's about.
Yeah,
and
well, this is the
primer.
This is friggin' weird. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, mixing it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so who knows what we're going to end up with in that, and then we'll come back and talk about that movie and give each other our picks for the following week. And yeah, we're going to let Cliff do the first spins.
Yep.
And then I'm going to say if we're watching something or not.
God knows what we're watching, folks. But this is going to be interesting. So we got some access to a large database of films, like you said, and it has a shuffle function. So I'm out here on vacation visiting him. We're doing some pre-production stuff on some things we're working on, and we have a free day, and we couldn't figure out what to do. So this is how we're going to fill our time. I don't know about the rest of you, but maybe we need a hobby or something. Anyway,
this is the hobby.
This is the hobby.
It's one of those where it's like, this seemed like a really great idea at the time, but who knows? Maybe it'll end up being awesome.
Okay, so here we go. I'm pulling up the database here. Let's see if I can find that shuffle function.
Yeah, you go up to that little 3 dots there. 4,544 items. People.
Shuffle. Here we go.
Here we go. The first shuffle.
Here we go.
Movie number 1 is something called Real Engine from 2010.
It's a documentary about Native Americans and their representation in film.
Might not be terrible. Let's see what else we get.
Okay.
So a veto on the first. Real Engine. Throwing stuff at me. I have no idea what it is.
Real Engine. Jesus.
Wow. It's like, oh, you want to do this? Okay, let's do this.
Okay, here we go.
Selection number 2. Cobra. Okay. Cobra's in the running right now.
Cobra.
But we're going to spin it one more time. Even though I just watched this, we talked about this on the Dragonheart episode excessively.
Marion Cobretti. Okay.
So let's do one more spin here.
Cobra. I've never bring Cobra on this show. That's how it's going to come on the show.
What is this?
What is this? Oh.
Pull up the things.
It's Not Just You, Murray. 1964 from the Criterion Collection.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Oh, I don't know. You're going to have to hit up IMDb.
Well, we should be able to go to the description.
Yeah, let me navigate through 4,500 movies for you. Hang on just a second.
In real time, people. It's
Jesus.
exciting. It's not just you, Murray. Everybody knows Murray.
It's Scorsese's first film.
Scorsese. That's only 16 minutes long.
Yep.
So we're gonna have to spin again because we can't consider that a movie. Even though we could be like,
Jesus
we're gonna watch a
fuck, man. All the way to
16-minute
fucking top
movie.
again.
Call it a day. Here we go. Here we go. Here we motherfucking go on Pondo Shuffle. Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver.
Mm.
So Cobra or Stand and Deliver are probably going to be your two picks.
We're going to watch Stand and Deliver, people. I'm going to give Cliff a break. We're going to not have to sit through
Stand
Cobra.
and Deliver it is.
So
okay.
we'll be back in however long this movie is and tell you what we think about this.
Sure you don't want to watch Cobra?
Well, how long is this one?
I absolutely honestly have no idea. I don't know. Hang on. It's still trying to. It's an hour and 43.
Longer. Cobra's shorter.
It's up to you.
Let's do Cobra so we don't have to do as long. And we'll be back in 90 minutes, but you'll never know the difference because we'll be back right now. And we're back. But we never left. We're here. We've turned the radio on. We've sat through a movie that almost seems like we did it on purpose because the film has been brought up before. But we just sat through all 87 minutes of the 1986 cult classic, Cobra.
Oh, fuck, I almost fell asleep watching that thing.
You do need to turn the radio on.
It's bad. I mean, it's,
I gotta come up with a rating.
It's missing like 30 minutes of footage of the original footage. It's apparently was much more uber violent, and they cut all that shit out. And then cutting that shit out, they lost plot points that they had to cut out. So its editing is real choppy and weird. And it's just it's not a very, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it did well. I mean, like we talked about while we were watching it, $160 million off of a $25 million budget, or $25 million opening weekend. It's pretty good, but I still think that people talk about this movie like it's a letdown film in his career, because he'd just come off of Rambo First Blood Part 2. He was a big, huge star. Rocky, First Blood, all these movies, and then he comes in and does Cobra, and it's just like, dude, what are you fucking doing?
Now, what is this thing with the red laser beam? Cobra, a Golden Globus film, one of those Canon movies when they were cranking out a movie every week, and I'm not kidding.
Cobra. Here's your logline. A tough-on-crime street cop must protect the only surviving witness to a strange murderous cult with far-reaching plans. Your storyline. Let's see here. Where the hell is it? A tough on-crime street cop must protect the only surviving witness to a strange murderous cult with far-reaching plans. That's it. I guess there's one. A game of thugs led by the self-proclaimed night slasher are breaking into people's homes and cars, then killing them at random. When Lieutenant Cobretti, an intense take-no-prisoners cops, confronts a new world and the night slasher, Cobretti must protect a young woman, Ingrid Knutson. Cobretti plans to move the only witness to the upstate, but the thugs follow them, and a battle for survival rages between Cobretti and the thugs.
Cobretti and the Thugs this fall on NBC.
It's like Cobretti and the Thugs is like the sequel, or the follow-up to the Welcome Back, Kotter.
So apparently this was based on a novel.
Yeah, Fair Game, Fair Play.
Fair Game, and then Fair Game was made into a movie, which I don't think I've ever seen. Is it It's not Alec Baldwin. It's like Stephen Baldwin? Or
I think it is. I haven't seen it.
Daniel Baldwin. And it's Cindy Crawford, right? But apparently the log line of that reads completely different than what this movie was.
Well, I knowing Stallone and his massive fucking ego, I'm sure that this film kind of deviates pretty far from the original source material, like, because that's what Stallone does. He always has got to kind of make it about himself, and of course he's a big star, so he's going to make it about,
right.
These movie stars. That's what they do. Well, okay, that's great. Now tell me more about how I'm important in the film.
That's why the movie was originally longer, and he supposedly cut out everybody else's extraneous stuff and kept all of his scenes.
I mean, I think if you're super into like hyper action from the 80s, that type of shit, if you're really into those type of movies, Lethal Weapon, the Enforcer series with Clint Eastwood, the Bronson series of that type of stuff, and those type of films, this is right up your alley. You're gonna fucking jump right in this and absolutely love it. However, this is one of the dumbest fucking movies I've seen in a long time. It's just dumb. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, and that's because of course they cut it up. But it's also just, it's got really stupid dialogue, and you're the disease, I'm the cure.
That was the tagline, huh?
And it's also got some of the best fucking Stallone babble of the fucking 80s you'll ever hear, where you're just like, what did he say? It's and Lieutenant Cobretti, really, Lieutenant Cobretti, really. Anyway, how did he get that perfect 80s stubble? Like that perfect 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter 80s stubble. I don't know.
Well, they shot the whole movie in one day.
Yeah. He would wake up at 2 a.m. to shave. So
it's glued on.
Exactly
it's actually an appliance that they would peel off like a fruit roll
flocking, they just spray on his face.
He's flocked.
He's flocked. There's a moment in this movie when taking a pee actually saves someone's life. Yeah, it's one
of the more clever moments.
Yeah.
So apparently, when Stallone was attached to being Beverly Hills Cop, he rewrote that script, and it was going to be about this cop named Axel Cobretti. Now you can see where I'm going with this. So he dropped out of Beverly Hills Cop to focus on Rhinestone, as you do, and then took his rewritten version of Beverly Hills Cop and then loosely adapted the Fair Game book into it, and out comes Cobra. Very, very strange, because you wouldn't think this and Beverly Hills Cop have anything to do with each other outside of some basic cop tropes.
I mean, they don't. They don't. He wrote a bad fucking version of it that they threw away, and then Eddie Murphy came in with his crew and they rewrote it and
made it funny again.
I mean, the only connection is that Stallone wrote a version, because there's nothing in Beverly Hills Cop that's even close to Cobra at all.
The only thing is, you don't play by the rules, Axel Foley.
Well, that's every cop in these situations, I'm tired of defending your screwball antics to the commissioner, that's every one of these fucking movies, so it's and of course this movie's like, hey man, we're gonna do the far, the cool thing, and we're gonna grab that fucking cop that's been riding his ass the whole movie and a handshake, and then we're just gonna belt him in the fucking mouth, man. Isn't that satisfying? Oh my goodness.
So they should have started playing Power of Love by Huey Lewis in the News right at that moment where he socks him. But no, they go off into this other song instead, which fits the movie. It's not quite over the top, guys. But if you like that one for its goofiness,
yeah, it's so we start off with that the supermarket shooting, right? And we get and this is the 80s where they would do stupid shit to kind of give their characters some personality, right? Where Cobretti sneaks in and he's looking around the corner and he just picks up a nice Coors cold golden banquet. It's fucking warm. It's not even cold. He just takes a nice sip of that, puts that down. I laughed because there's so many of those in the 80s where they do stuff like that. And that one in particular is kind of just ridiculously goofy. Later, when the Night Stalker comes for her in the hospital, right? There's that scene where she's trapped in between in the small room in between the two doors, and he's stabbing the door and kicking it down, right? And she starts pushing the door open, trying to get out, and then she gets out into the hallway, and she's screaming for help and screaming and she's at the desk, and nobody's around. It is like the Night Stalker and his crew have cleared this floor out, right? And he comes busting out. She starts running and runs down the hallway and sees a fire alarm and breaks the glass and hits it. And 3,000 people suddenly show up in the fucking hallway, and the Night Stalker has to, fade into the distance of the crowd. I was just like, This movie is fucking dumb. It's just dumb. Yeah.
It's set in another reality, man.
Goddamn liberal press. Oh, can we talk about the exposed lavalier?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a scene where, of course, Marion likes to park his car at a certain place at the end of the day. You know, and he's got a spot. Now, it's not a designated spot, but, you know, the world should know that that's Marion's spot. So he pulls up, and there's, of course, a couple of vatos and a nice lowrider in his spot, and he honks, and they tell him to go fuck himself. And so what's he do? He basically uses his car to nudge the other car out of the way and then parks. And then the dude's like, hey, man, what are you doing? He gets all mad, and Cobra's like, yeah, you should, what did he say? You should calm down, or blah, 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 blah. And then he rips his white shirt, his A-frame off. And I agree with you. I don't think that was scripted, because the dude's lavalier is just taped to his bare chest, and it's completely exposed for 3 or 4 seconds. Mm-hmm. And they just left that in the film. Left it. Nobody's going to notice that.
I'm like, is he wearing a wire?
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is his microphone pack. You're not supposed to... Yeah, it's... What?
So the rumor is that Stallone's basically directed this movie, and Cosmatos was basically just the kind of the producer, you know, and basically would shut up and kind of stay out of Stallone's way when he was on set. And it feels that way watching the movie. It definitely feels like a Stallone vehicle.
This comes from 1986, the year I saw every movie, it seems like, and this movie was popular. This thing was everywhere. I remember renting it from the video store, like it was a big deal. Siskel and Ebert hated it because they said it was like just horribly violent. And by today's standards, it's pretty tame, but back then, him in the back of that truck shooting everybody.
Well, and to be fair, I mean, it's a 90-minute movie because the first cut was 2 hours, and it was rated X due to all the friggin' violence. I mean, we're talking severed hands, long extended autopsy scenes.
More of a horror movie.
Yeah, more of a very, more like Silence of the Lambs type thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we get away from the Night Stalker, and Cobra's like, oh, we got somebody in the police force is ratting on us and talking to the Night Stalker. And so they're like, okay, let's take her and run, because that way we'll be, that way we'll be nice and safe somewhere else outside of the city. And his partner's like, or the buddy he's trusts is like, just shows up with this strange woman cop that they don't know. And he's just like, all right, let's go. And Cobra's like, sure, let's go. Never mind that, we have somebody who's been ratting on us. We'll go ahead and take this woman with us. And then they just run to Forks, Washington. And into a Twilight movie, I guess. I mean, the only with the where they were, and like the lack of sunlight and the fog and the mountains and shit, I just thought I'm gonna fucking see a Cullen jump out of this movie any minute now.
The old "let's go hide out in the woods for 20 minutes" of the movie and stop the pacing dead in its tracks trope, so you can rest medicine.
Yep. And then so they have a giant shootout, and it's basically cowboys and Indians with just updated, because it's a bunch of bikers, and they're zooming around in a circle in front of the hotel where they're holed up in, and Cobretti's, of course, shooting through the windows. He literally takes his gun and he busts out the window, that classic move, that they do back in the 40s and the 50s, and he's shooting his little pew pew, and then he gets his little laser gun and or laser sighted gun. And then from there, they end up having to run. Of course, they can't kill them all, right? So they end up running, and they run into a fucking orange orchard, which just happens to be right next to where they are.
Right.
Which then they run through the orange orchard into a factory that somehow is right next to the orange orchard that seems to only produce nothing but sparks and jets of flame. Like, that seems to be its only purpose.
That's what they make there.
And this kind of harkens back to the joke that Patton Oswalt did about, hey, if you liked metal in the 80s, you were probably gay, because all these metal bands, these hard rock bands from the 80s were in these videos where, there's a bunch of hot girls, but they're nowhere near the band, and the band's in some factory somewhere that, and the joke is that only produces sparks, right? And all that type of thing. Anyway, that is class. I mean, this is so 86, it's not even funny with that stuff.
So how much ketchup do you put on French fries?
Oh, God, here we go with condiments again. I'm a dipper. I am not a on the fries person, and I think people who do that are fucking weird, because how are you going to get the fry and not get the ketchup on your finger?
Yeah, I don't think they mind it.
It's at that point you're at a fork. You're at a fork type situation.
Forking.
Yeah.
It's almost like was it poutine?
Yeah, poutine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, they were up north.
Well, I guess so. How do vampires put their ketchup on their fries? How much do they use?
Right. I'll have to watch that again to see the Twilight movies.
Yeah.
He gets kind of sick because he wants to eat it. He does that like puke thing.
Mm.
Well, what about the robots?
Oh yeah.
The robot montage.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It's pure coke-driven 80s robots with scrotums, as we could say. Yeah. What's the riff tracks were saying
something
about
hanging
it.
Below the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Wasted.
What's that supposed to represent?
Don't know.
Getting fucked by machinery in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
AI's taken over, you see? That's what the axe cult was against. What are they doing down there slamming those axes together?
I don't want to get fucked by machinery.
And don't they hang out in that? Looks like they hang out in that boiler room place. So when they're at the last smelting...
the place that produces sparks.
You think they would know their way around better, is all I'm saying.
Maybe not all smelting sparks places are the same.
How terrible of me to assume such a thing. With all these hooks flying around and everywhere.
Oh yeah, that guy, that killer's really on the hook for his past behavior. Isn't he?
Ooh. See, that's the pun he could have made. Boom. Instead, did he even make a pun there? He just threw him on the hook.
Yeah, just threw him on the hook.
Very Leatherface style.
Yeah.
There were other puns, and the matchstick paid off eventually.
Yeah, because he lit somebody on fire.
But he didn't even have it in his mouth when he lit it. He took it out of his pocket and ran it across his gun. I was just let down by that.
But he'd keep the one in his mouth, and he was like, "I'm not wasting that one. I'm taking a spare."
That one makes the dialogue come out better. It's like Fred Norris doing the Gary Delabate. He puts the tongue in his mouth, Wolf, and you get your,
Dear Diary, all I wanted was a Pepsi, just a Pepsi. But Marion Cobretti wouldn't give it to me. Instead, he shot me. So I threw a rock at his cool neon Pepsi sign. I hope the Night Stalker kills him, stupid jerk. Also, I'm taking his parking space.
When I went to your institutional learning facilities...
I went to your Night Stalker.
They're still wearing masks at the end. Yeah, just visibility is more important at this point when you're...
I guess it's a silly movie.
It's a video game.
It's so silly.
Before violent video games existed like that.
I struggle with why people like this movie. It's not very well put together. It's kind of goofy. I guess it's got a little bit of style or a little bit of
it's strange
tone and feel to it, but it's just not very well made. No. It's not very well done. I mean. Lee Garlington is in this. Brian Thompson's in this.
Yes, of Dragonheart fame.
Art LaFleur is in this.
Of Running Time fame.
I mean, there's a fuckload of... Marco Rodriguez is the Southwest Supermarket Killer. It's a bunch of great character actors surrounding Stallone. And unfortunately, I feel like when you get this much talent together, you'll probably do something better than this. You know what I mean? And instead you do this kind of weak. How many fucking times have we seen the psycho killer cop chase film done? Bronson did it.
Even at that point.
Stallone did it.
Well, everybody had to do their version.
Everybody did their version
Clint
of it.
Eastwood, like you were saying, the Deadpool.
Eastwood did it. Yeah, even...
Deadpool, not Ryan Reynolds.
Right, and I think even Schwarzenegger did a version of it. Maybe. I'm trying to remember if he did or not.
Well, I know Terminator is pretty damn close, where you could say he's the killer psycho.
And then maybe Terminator 2, where he's chasing the Terminator 2, where he's chasing the T-1000 and trying to kill it.
Which rips off Cobra, because it ends in the smelting place.
You're going to the smelting place.
Is that like the sunken place? It's kind of like what it feels like when you watch this movie.
Yeah, when you watch this movie, you go to the smelting place.
Go to the smelting place.
I'm gonna remember that, and I'm gonna say that later on. I'm like, this movie sent me to the smelting place, and I didn't like it.
Now, George P. Cosmatos His son is a director now and made that movie Mandy with Nicolas Cage, which is like an LSD-fueled nightmare revenge flick. And I'm thinking, yeah, if I was like 12 years old growing up on the set of movies like Cobra, you might end up making movies like that too when you get older. Because I've seen parts of Mandy, and it looks like Cobra. The reddish hue and the strange lighting and the Dutch angles.
I haven't seen it.
But it might be a better film. Who knows?
If I have, I don't remember. I mean, I'm familiar with it. I've heard of it, but I just don't think I've seen it. Well, so what do you give this one?
Oh, he also made Tombstone.
That's true. This is one of his only good movies.
But what do I give this one? Jeez, I'm still thinking about it. In classic form, not talking directly into the mic there. I'm still thinking about it, but because it's so fresh, because we literally just finished watching this movie and got back in. It's like talking Pondo live, talking Cobretti. Oh, 1.5.
Yeah.
It's amusing enough. I'm sitting here giggling the whole time because it's so trope laden. The Andrew Robinson is the detective,
It's bad, but it's in focus. It's shot well. You can hear it. It's got some cool stunts. The stunt work. The second AD in the stunt work.
You
really,
can't deny that.
Honestly, saves this fucking movie. If we're being completely honest,
that might be why people dig it.
Yeah, I can see that. But for me, it's a 2-star movie.
Yeah,
it's there. It's not great. It's not bad. But I can't say it's right in the middle. It's lacking a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh God, now we've got to do another shuffle.
Yeah. So it might be a little shorter than usual because we just watched the movie. So that's why we only did 20 minutes on Cobra instead of a half hour.
It doesn't always have to be an hour.
So now I hit the button. I guess we might as well keep recording, huh?
I guess so.
And then we'll just have this be this portion. Okay. Look at that. 17% Cobra got on Rotten Tomatoes there. But an audience score of 44.
Half the audience likes it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cobra is a bad movie with fleeting flashes of something better. So bad it's good. The pizza's the best part. Oh yeah, he cuts the pizza with the pair of scissors. How can we not mention that?
Yeah, I forgot that note. It says, my note says that, that's the first one here. Cobra at home is just disturbing. Using scissors on pizza is crazy.
Look at that second review. That's frightening, sir. Hit shuffle while working and it shows a good candidate. Somebody else got this on shuffle? What are the fucking odds, people? Okay, now we're going to go back in time, people. I wonder what it's going to give us this time. Let's get to our browser here. Okay, I picked a fucking winner. Let's see what happens this time on shuffle number 1 is...
What the fuck is that?
Robbery from 1967.
From 1967. I've definitely never seen it. Robbery, 1967. Stanley Baker, a group of British criminals plan the robbery of the Royal Mail Train on the Glasgow-London route. I think this actually might be based on a true story.
Just like Cobra.
Interesting. That's fascinating. It's a dramatization of the Great Train Robbery. Mm-hmm. It's while not a how-to, it's very detailed, dependent, showing the care and planning. I'm gonna veto for now.
Okay, I was gonna say you almost might as well do the 3 spins just to see what the hell they are, right? For the sake of the program.
Not really, but if it's a good one and I like it, I'm just gonna go for it.
That is true. Number 2 is.
Oh shit. It's
The Voices, 2014. What is this?
Ryan Reynolds hears voices in his head. I haven't seen it either.
I don't know what this is either.
Oh my goodness. The Voices. Let's see. Ryan Reynolds, 2014. It's got Gemma Arterton in it. A likable guy pursues his office crush with the help of his evil talking pets, but things turn sinister when she stands him up for a date. That is definitely high on the list.
Yeah.
But let's see what else. Let's see what the last one is.
Okay, it's like Joker's Wild over here.
Joker.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
And a triple. Okay.
Dark Star don't count. We have already covered the film Dark Star.
Yep. So
this
Dark
will
Star
be another shuffle.
Shuffle it again, my friend.
Like and subscribe.
The Animated Hobbit.
The Animated Hobbit. It does count.
It absolutely does. It's an hour and 17 minutes long. I'm gonna go with the voices.
The voices.
I'm gonna go with the voices.
All right.
I've never seen it, and I don't know. It should be. I like the premise, so we'll try it.
All right. We like blind picks around here, and it falls into our trying to give each other newer movies we haven't seen category as well. So, the voices it is. We'll be back in about an hour and 45 minutes to tell you what we think
about the voices.
It's got a cat in it, so it's got that going for it.
Here, kitty.
Comedy horror. Okay.
Let's do it. All right. Well, that was a movie.
Yeah, we're back. We never left. The Voices. 2014. I can't say that I had never heard of it before, but I didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I still processing what it was.
It kind of, I mean, the log line and the storyline in the movie, have I read that yet?
No, what is...
Okay.
The Voices.
The Voices.
With a very antagonistic cat.
The Voices. 2014 rated R, hour 43 minutes. Your logline is: likable guy pursues his office crush with help from his evil talking pets, but things turn sinister when she stands him up for a date. Plotline, storyline. Jerry is a chipper guy clocking the 9 to 5 at a bathtub factory with the offbeat charm of anyone who could use a friend. Few friends. With help from his court-appointed psychiatrist, he pursues his office crush, Gemma Arterton, but their relationship takes a sudden murderous turn after she stands him up for a date. Guided by his evil talking cat and benevolent talking dog, Jerry must decide whether to keep striving for normalcy or indulge in the sinister.
Is that what happened?
I mean, it feels
from a certain point of view, maybe.
In the beginning, to me, they mislead you, right, in that a little bit, because in the beginning it's a comedy of errors, right? It's a dark comedy of errors where he accidentally kills his crush. Like, he's got the date, or he thinks he's got the date. She kind of stands him up and is, supposed to leave a message, and he doesn't get it, and then he's on the date at the Chinese place waiting on her and, crying when he goes home. But then he sees her, right? And she needs help. And she gets in the car and is like, hey, let's go to dinner. I apologize for treating you like shit, or for not calling you or whatever. Let's go to dinner and made up. And then a fucking deer, as they're on their way to dinner, goes right through the windshield of the truck, of course, because they live in the middle of nowhere, right? In the woods. And, of course, Jerry hears animals talking to him. And so the deer tells him, I'm all fucked up. Jerry, you got to kill me. And he does. And Gemma freaks out. And then, he's chasing her through the woods going, you're going to get lost. Don't run. And then he falls on her and accidentally stabs her. Right. And I mean, it's a silly plot device, but it's not like he intentionally did it. Right. Like, even the cat's telling him to.
Mm-hmm. But that description makes it sound like he did.
Like it was his choice. Yeah. Like
she stood him up and he killed her, but
before it. Yeah.
She had car trouble, and then they were kind of on the date, and then, I accidentally stabbed you over and over again.
And over, yeah. Yeah. Well, and then you learn later on in the movie, right? Like, that's kind of his psychosis. His psychosis is, watching his mother try to kill herself and then handing him the glass to finish her off because she couldn't do it fully, right? And so she's like, you got to finish it. I'm in pain and blah, blah, blah. And that's what the deer says to him through the window. And that's, kind of his thing he's reliving constantly, in my opinion, with these murders.
Was he the voice of the deer as
Yeah, he
well?
was. Yeah, he was the voice of the deer. He was the voice of all the animals.
Ryan Reynolds did all the animal voices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does the cat's a psychotic like Irishman or Scotsman, and then the dog is a big old lovable sane person. It's funny because the cat's the one who's like, you should just kill everybody. And the dog's like, you're a good person,
It's the
Jerry.
angel devil.
Mm-hmm. You're a good person, Jerry. You don't have to do that.
I mean, the tone of this thing is all over the place, but it's ultimately kind of silly. If I had to elevator pitch it, I'd say it's American Psycho meets Dr. Dolittle.
Okay.
Now, excuse me, I have to go return some videotapes.
Okay. I mean, I could see that. I will say that there is a piece in this that's pretty serious, and that's about people who are on medication, like to keep the voices away or to live normal lives. And to those
weird tone.
And to those of you out there, I know that medication sometimes always isn't the greatest, and it makes you muddle headed, but you go off of it and you have bad experiences. You have bad things happen, right? So take your meds. It's okay. Take your meds. It'll be good for you. Right. And then of course, when poor Jerry stops taking them, the dog and the cat, are talking to him instead and confusing him.
Yeah, this felt like a movie a guest would have brought to the show, but I guess a guest did bring it to the show. The Shuffle Guest.
Shuffle Guest, yeah. I did laugh pretty hardly where he's hacking Gemma up and he's looking over at that big bottle of pills, and he's hacking her up and looking at those pills, and I just thought, if you just taken those pills, maybe this wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, it's weird ass movie.
Yeah, I feel like maybe if they'd done a PG or a PG-13 version, where it wasn't as explicitly gory, then they could have still maybe got the same thing a little more palatable. Obviously, that's not what they were trying to make.
I agree. I mean, I think if you had gone PG-13, toned down the violence, made it a little more romantic, and kind of played up the rom-com like this dark rom-com about this guy who keeps accidentally killing the girls that he's dating or whatever. That might have been pretty funny and pretty good. I really wanted to see more of the dog and the cat going back and forth. Like, I enjoyed the cat being like, this fucking dog is worthless, and the dog being like, you are the most evil piece of shit. Do not listen to this cat, And the dog in general. Let me smell her crotch, Jerry. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, such a mixture of tone. With silly, then it's serious, then it's trying to be scary, then it's back to being silly again, then there's dance routine.
Yeah, it's wild. And this is 2014, right?
Yeah.
So this is 2 years before he does Deadpool. And this is 2 years after Anna Kendrick. What in the fuck is Anna Kendrick doing in this movie?
Well, like you said, blacklist script. So maybe they thought this was going to be like a big deal or something.
I mean, this is 2 years after this is 2 years after Pitch Perfect. At this point, she's a pretty big star. And this is what she chooses to do. It's kind of a surprise.
Who knows? Maybe good payday in between other projects, like the script. Who knows?
I definitely respect the choice because I think it's a weird movie to do. And I like seeing actors step outside of their comfort zones a little bit, or at least maybe not their comfort zones, but outside of their expected sort of things, right? You expect Ryan Reynolds to play Deadpool. You expect him to play the smart ass, the good-looking, confident, smart-ass kid. You expect, these types of things. So when he steps out of that and plays the killer, or Anna Kendrick steps out and plays a different type of role, I enjoy that with actors. I think that's a good thing.
I think another reason this has such a strange mixed tone is I've never seen Persepolis, but wasn't that an Oscar-nominated animated film? And it's supposed to be kind of serious? Well, the director of that directed this. But the writer of this, among many other things, Paranormal Activity sequels. So you've got this mixture of, goofy comedy and serious and silly. And so we had another woman director for this movie. And I noticed a similarity between this and The Love Witch. Both have men crying in the film.
for varied reasons. I did like the look of the film. I think while we were watching it, there's a driving scene with Anna or maybe it's Gemma and Ryan, And I was like, "Where's that light coming from?" And it's not it's not that I necessarily dislike the look of it. It just doesn't look like natural lighting, right? Which is sometimes that's fine, right? And the whole movie seems like a fairy tale. It's removed from reality. Like it's ridiculous enough and sort of farcical enough that you're not trying to take it seriously. Otherwise, it'd be fucking Silence of the Lambs, and it wouldn't be darkly funny. Right?
Yeah.
And the film is darkly funny. There are some darkly funny moments in the film.
It's like as if movies like Maniac or Nightmare were comedies. Mm-hmm. It's very, very kind of fucked up. But that's why I say it's the American Psycho type thing, because it reminded me of that the most, I think, because that's gory and gross, but they're being satirical at the same time, right? And is it really happening? Is he really... Nobody will take him serious, right, in that movie. Doesn't he tell people he's killing people? And they're like, oh, yeah, whatever, look at my business card.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I mean, I don't know who can't fucking watch American Psycho and not realize that is a massive satirical film.
Oh, of course.
Like, if you are watching that and thinking that it's anything other than and it's not funny. It's like, it's sad. It's kind of satirical and sad and kind of making fun of how fucked up these people who do this are, you know, that this guy would that four guys would hold out white ass fucking cards and talk about the differences in them. And then, you know, one of them gets pissed and kills one of them for it. It's just the stupidest shit ever, right? So, the most horrifying thing in this movie is Ryan Reynolds licking a spoon he used to scoop out dog food. That's me. That's the one part of the movie where I just went, oh God, oh no.
Put a little ketchup on it.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Put
a lot of ketchup on that. Put all the ketchup on that.
Don't go to a second location. The movie.
That's the other thing I'll say. I did like how I liked the way they dressed up the locations. The factory, the tub making, the appliance factory was very cool. It looked right. This bowling alley place that he lived at was real kind of neat looking. I liked the different, you know, Milton town aspects of the different things. That was really cool. It was very good art direction.
Mm-hmm.
Pacing's a bit brutal.
Yeah. It's a little overlong.
Yeah, I'd say maybe 10 minutes?
At least. It's that top-heavy part where it tricks you into thinking it's going to be something else. Mm-hmm. And then about halfway through it decides, oh, we're doing this. Yeah, and then it leans into it.
Yeah, I think that either the Gemma thing is a little too long, or the Anna Kendrick thing is. I'm not sure which one I would have cut, but I would have trimmed some there and made a little bit shorter. 137 would have been perfect. 138. This is 147. I'd cut 10 minutes out of this and be fine with it.
Yeah.
But you do need that background and that context to understand his motivation, to get where he's coming from, to understand his psychosis, and sort of to understand what's going on to a certain extent, right? Otherwise, he's just a nutball killer.
Oh, of course.
You know, I didn't really buy the whole awkward Ryan thing that he was doing. Like, it just, I don't know. I feel like it would have been better served if he had played it a little more straighter and just been a little less trying to be awkward and trying to be, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fine to hear voices and it's fine to be weird, but this strange kind of little boy awkwardness he had was a little weird at times.
The conflicted tone.
Yeah.
What do you want to be, movie? Well, I want to be everything. Oh, if I was raised in Germany, would I understand the movie more?
We made a good point. It's kind of like Withnail and I, where we talked about, right? Like, is there some culture here that I'm not? But it's written by an American, so it's.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, I don't think he's intentionally added any German cultural things to it, but maybe not.
Oh, that last dance number there.
That was weird. that whole dance number over the credits thing was just fucking weird. But you know what I think it was? I think it was the last attempt to lighten the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
And take you out of it being so dark and so serious, right? I love the part where he drives out in the middle of nowhere with his therapist and puts her on the fucking hood and starts just going, all right, you got you got to do this now, right? And then at the end of it, he goes, that's like 10 years of therapy in 10 minutes. And the line is, everybody has these fucking thoughts. You don't have to act on them. It's like, oh shit, what a revelation. Thank you.
That's a Jim Carrey stand-up routine. You know?
Yeah.
The thoughts you don't act on.
Oh, that's funny. One of my other notes is that you can kind of see the ending coming, right? But I was wrong. You can't see the ending coming. It's not the ending that you exactly expect.
Yeah.
They do a nice little twist on it, and I think it's kind of satisfying when you roll it in and you tie it into the end credits and the dance sequence and the musical number. I'm like, okay, I don't mind the way that this wrapped up at all. I really don't. Especially the dog and the cat talking to each other in the end, and then like, all right, time for you to go your way, time for me to go mine. I quite enjoyed that.
And he ended up being the real Santa Claus after all.
Well, the real friends are the Santa Clauses we made along the way.
Exactly.
Okay.
It also reminded me of like 50s B-movie classics like The Tormented or Brain That Wouldn't Die, or like you made a joke about Frankenhooker while we were watching it. It's not too far off in parts, you know.
Well, I mean...
Inspiration,
yeah,
perhaps?
yeah, for sure. I think there's some notes there. But like, he didn't go try to blow up a bunch of hookers with super crack and build a new body, but he did put her head in the fridge and talk to her and all that type of shit. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And again, Reanimator is a great example of that too, where you get
that's what I was getting some of those vibes.
Yeah, Doctor, the doctor who's in the pan with the reagent.
I see what they're doing there.
I liked it. I mean, I thought they kind of mishmashed some things together, came up with an interesting concept. It was bloody. It was kind of there. Took some unexpected turns. That fucking deer coming through the truck window was the last thing I saw coming.
Yeah, this one's a little gory. Yeah, everybody.
It is.
So be forewarned.
Yeah, got some blood, got some guts. Again, there's a part where he's hacking up bodies, so it's not.
Yeah.
You
get your Henry as a comedy, but Henry is a comedy in a way.
Yeah, but it's not Saw. It's not Saw. It's not torture porn. It's not. The grisliness of Terrifier.
But there is a Saw.
But there is a Saw, and there is a hatchet or a cleaver.
But what there isn't is scissors cutting the pizza. There's pizza in this movie, but no scissors were used in cutting the pizza.
No pizzas were harmed in the making of this movie.
But there's one similarity. Well, there's a couple of similarities between this and Cobra, but the main one I noticed was there were similar news stories about a psycho on the loose killing people.
Ah, okay.
So, if this had been a normal episode and I had time to come up with a joke, it probably would have involved Marion Cobretti chasing down the Ryan Reynolds psycho killer
chasing
character.
Down Jerry.
But doing it in the form of a news story or something. Mm-hmm. I thought this was going to be a fuck, marry, kill movie for a minute there. Yeah. But they kind of deviated away from that a bit.
If you're into movies like Idle Hands,
that's a good one.
Shallow Grave, this is right up your alley. You'll really dig this. You'll like this a lot. It's relatively smart too. It's a little witty. It definitely knows what it's doing, and it definitely understands what it's trying to do. It's not hit or miss.
Well,
I'm not saying
I think it's that cultural thing.
Some of it works and some of it doesn't, but it definitely knows what it's trying to attempt.
And horror comedy is so difficult.
It's really difficult,
especially when you're trying to weave these things together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you don't like Ryan Reynolds, if he annoys you as an actor, he's really going to probably annoy you in this one because I think he's really going for it at times. And there's definitely some Deadpool-esque type things that he's doing in this, in my opinion. Some shudders and some shakes and things that he's doing where I'm just like, it reminds me of Reynolds in Deadpool or whatever. This was a weird experiment. I don't know if I ever want to do this again or not.
Because you never know what you're going to get next
exactly.
time.
And I kind of would rather...
Totally random.
I would rather at least know half of the film what I'm giving you so I can at least be prepared for that to a certain extent.
You could always curate a list of 100 or 50 and shuffle that.
I could, but I could also... But I mean, also... I'm trying to give you
genres too, or things.
I'm trying to give you, and I'm more blind picks anyways, so there's no guarantee. Yeah, this fit really well.
I mean, it's just a little over 10 years old. We haven't seen it, so it might have been something we would have been like, oh, bring that to the show,
Yeah.
It wasn't on my radar, but I had seen it on there, going, what is that?
I had heard of it, and I'd come across it in some reviews or some other things, some articles or whatever, and I was like, I'm probably going to end up watching that at some point, and here I am watching it. Okay, so I did You're a Disease, I'm the Cure, right? That was the Marion Cobretti. Oh, you didn't say the magic word, please. I forgot to mention that from the Marion Cobretti. I also meant to say that the Cobra movie sent me to the smelting place.
Yeah.
Which this movie did not. This movie did not send me to the smelting place.
No, it didn't.
But I will say
long,
this.
Though.
Yes, it was long. And for the first 40 minutes or so, I was kind of looking at this movie with a little bit of side eye going,
like,
what the fuck are you doing? And then
takes a bit.
And then once Anna Kendrick kind of gets involved, for me, it kind of, everything started to work and unravel in a great way.
And you're like, okay, I finally kind of know what you're doing, but damn, did it take a bit to get there.
I really liked...
Maybe a revisit, you might like the first part more.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I really liked the part where he's looking through the skylight, the ceiling window, and she's broken into his house and discovered these bodies and these people chopped up and blood everywhere and shit, and he's just looking at her like fuck. And there's that great. I thought that was a great moment. I really liked that. Because up until that point, if she doesn't break into that place and he could clean that up and get away from it, he might have a happy ending with her, right?
Yeah, the movie could take all sorts of different turns at any time.
But she had to break into the apartment and be the girl to help him out and all that, and then boom, it ends up backfiring on it, and then she's the second victim. Second or third? Second.
It does have a mid to late 80s feel to it, like a movie you would have rented. Some direct-to-video. There's some of the, remember Parents, that Randy Quaid movie?
Yeah.
It's kind of those strange offbeat. Do you
remember the show with the dude? It was on Comedy Central, I think, and it was the one where he was talking to an imaginary cartoon dragon. It was played by, I think, Patton Oswalt.
Oh, I mean, there's been many shows with the imaginary friends.
It had the dude from Law and Order in it.
Even our movie has the elements of
Chris something.
The imaginary people that the guy's talking to. Our characters don't kill anybody.
No, this was a specific one from. What was it? I can't remember now. But anyways, it was very weird, and but it was about a guy kind of like that who hears voices and is kind of messed up, and he has I guess a fucked up dinosaur. I never watched it. Played by Patton Oswalt.
Oh, wow.
Christopher Maloney, that's who it was. You know who Christopher Maloney is, right? What the hell was that thing called? Anyways, it was a weird premise, and it reminded me a lot of this. I wish I could find it here. I'm kind of looking for it. Happy. Yeah, and it got, 8.1 ratings. It ran for 2 seasons. But it was an injured hitman befriends his kidnapped daughter's imaginary friend, a perky blue flying unicorn.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And of course, there's Harvey.
Harvey, yeah.
So, yeah, and we're part of that fine tradition of movies that feature imaginary friends. Check out Revenge of Zoe and Love Song of William H. Shaw's. Stream it on Tubi. And then you can do the double feature like we did. Cobra and the voices. And to me, it felt like one long movie.
Yeah, well, when you watch them back to back like that.
And I usually don't watch the movies of the week back to back. And we certainly never get on and immediately talk about them.
No. Yeah, and those movie links are in the show notes, guys. So if you want to watch, those films, just go down to the show notes. The links will be there.
Certainly helps us out.
Absolutely, we would appreciate the clicks and the views, because we are in pre-production on something else, and every little bit and push that you do helps.
That is right.
So, what do you give it?
Okay, so like I say, it's the rating I have of the week. Usually, but this is like the rating I have of right now. It's probably going to go up a little bit, but right now I'm at a 2.
I'm at 2.5.
Yeah,
and I might even go 3, maybe.
Because I think I'll think about it more, and there's things that I like.
Yeah, I think
there's other things where I'm just like.
It's something that I might rewatch once in a while, every
Mm-hmm.
now and then, but it's not something I'm gonna rush to put on, right? But I do think it. Again, I like the way it looked. I thought it was competently shot. I really liked the art direction on it.
They went
for
for
the set
something.
direction. They really went for it, and it was well made. It was definitely well made. I liked his therapist quite a bit. I liked everybody in the film. You didn't have any problems with anybody. It was just, a few things that just,
strange mixture.
Strange movie. Yeah. But not terrible.
No. Wow, what an interesting experiment, the Pondo Shuffle. And it's been
Talking shuffle.
It's been an interesting experiment for the last couple of weeks, because you've probably noticed, it's like, where are all the guests? It's like, well, we were on a little vacation and also doing some pre-production, like Cliff mentioned, on our next feature. So it was time to just do some episodes without guests. But strap in, folks, as we like to say, because we're going to be having guests for, a bit to make it match the numbers of... blah, 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 blee, blee, blee. It's season 4. We're having 24 guests.
It's season 4, Fiddle DD.
And then we're having 12 episodes where it's just me and Cliff. So to make the ratio work, the ratio is all out of control. To make the ratio work, we're going to do that. So next time it'll be a guest and a guest and a guest and a guest. But eventually, in about 6 weeks, we're going to watch another movie that we give each other. And what is that movie going to be? It's not going to be random, or is it?
I know what your movie next
I
time
know,
is.
and I know what your movie is too. So
Are we saying it now?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking to make sure.
Yeah, it's so weird because it's so
it's so far away. I wasn't sure if you wanted to wait or
we
not.
might as well
go right ahead.
In sticking with the theme of movies from the last 5 years that neither of us have seen, I hope, Suitable Flesh.
Suitable Flesh. Okay, the Barbara Crampton film.
Yeah, and I picked it out before you had discussed it yesterday.
Okay, all right.
As I figured for more selfish reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at the cast, I was like, yeah, okay.
So,
the movie I thought that was Strange Darling.
This one is not within the last 5 years, but it is within the last 10.
Yeah.
It is a movie that we have discussed or referenced on the show and had not a discussion because you haven't seen it, but I've seen it, and I want you to see it because I want to talk about it. So I'm going to give you Green Book.
Oh, we're doing that one finally.
Yep.
Okay. A lot of people hate this movie. I do not know almost anything about it. So that's good that I'm going to go into it completely blind.
Yep.
Yeah, and so that'll be quite a while from now. But it will happen probably around June, your time. That's crazy to even fucking think. June.
So until June, I'm going to send you to the smelting place.
Is that your quote?
Nope. You want to get out of here on a quote?
Yeah.
You're a good man who made a mistake. No one's going to rape you, Jerry.
Go ahead. I don't shop here.
Later, man.
Don't miss an episode. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and keep listening to the show on the app of your choice. Do it now.